Bansou Sentai Kizunager, Bond 22, The Crimson Ranger and the Dragonic Clone Saga. When Souichi Ichigami, Kizuna Crimson, is shocked to find out that the Rijin Bondki is actually his world's version of Togo Asagaki, who accepted his dark bond energy to get his revenge on Souichi for replacing him. The other Kizunagers, Togo, Logi, and Yhra, are struggling to take down the Rijin Bondki after he was corrupted by the hero's sword to transform him into a gigantic dragon to spread fire across the kingdom. So now Togo pulls out the burning blood bond plate and inserts it into his Kizuna brace to transform into Kizuna red burning blood to insert the Kiramager legend bond plate into his universe caliber to perform the crystallized Kizuna burning slasher to create a crystal barrier to weaken the Rijin Bondki a bit as he and the other Kizunagers made their escape from the scene. Meanwhile, at the spacecraft known as Shred Dawn, Wizard Soul, the dark magic bonder, warns Zaku Racer, the Boso Bonder, about the Rijin Bondki going berserk after retrieving the hero's sword from Logi, but then he was surprised that Zaku Racer is getting pampered by Princess Teltina, Kizuna Rise, after falling extremely in love with her as Wizard Soul demands him to stay focused on getting rid of the Kizunagers and the Bondki monster to retrieve back the hero's sword. So now Zaku Racer and Wizard Soul left the dungeon to make their way to the Ender Machine Hangar to fire up the Ender Dragon, the Dragon Kizuna Slayer, to hunt down both the Kizunagers and the Rijin Bondki. But this led to Zaku Racer forgetting to lock Teltina's cell, which gives her the opportunity to make her escape and sneak inside of the Ender Dragon to find a way to reprogram it to assist the Kizunagers instead of the Bansou Enders. Meanwhile, at the Demi-Human Federation, where the Kizunagers operate after their secret base was destroyed by the Bansou Enders, Souichi explains to Togo and his friend about the rest of his backstory and tells them after he became Kizuna Crimson to take his world's Togo Asagaki's place as the leader of the Kizuna 5, it drove him to hate Souichi for replacing him like he doesn't exist anymore. But then Souichi learned from Professor Pythagoras that there might be a chance that Togo is the real clone instead of him. When Souichi and his world's Kizuna 5 face against the Zetsu Enders in a final battle, Togo showed up to put an end to both the breakup king for killing Tenri, Kizuna Silver, and Souichi for replacing him, which results in a massive explosive where Souichi and the Kizuna 5 managed to survive, but both the breakup king and Togo perished in the destruction of Shred Skull, or it might seem like it to Souichi. This made the Kizunagers shocked to find out about Souichi's version of Togo have managed to survive the explosion and became a Bondki monster to get his revenge, as they heard from Professor Patchwork that the Rijin Bondki is making their way to the Demi-Human Federation to destroy the Kizunagers once and for all, but then gets attacked by the Ender Dragon to retrieve the hero's sword. So now Togo and his friends head towards the scene to put an end to this feud, as he gives Logi the universe caliber for him to use in battle so they can retrieve the hero's sword before the Bansou Enders. When Togo and his friends saw Teltina getting out of the Ender Dragon and approach her friends to lend them a hand, they pull out their bond plates and inserts them into their Kizuna braces to transform into the Kizunagers, Red, Crimson, Night, Rise, and Magus, to face against the Bansou Enders as Togo summons the Kizuna beasts and the Kizuna elements to form the elemental Kizuna master for him, Souichi, and Yhra to pilot to take down the Rijin Bondki and the Ender Dragon, while Logi and Teltina deal with Zaku Racer and Wizard Soul. Just then, Logi inserts the King-Ohger legend bond plate into the universe caliber to perform the Ohger Kizuna burning slasher to weaken Zaku Racer and Wizard Soul a bit for Teltina to summon her full moon wolf baton to perform the flowing Kizuna wave to knock them down to the ground. Meanwhile, Togo along with Souichi and Yhra are having a difficult time to take down both the Ender Dragon and the Rijin Bondki at once, as they both weaken the Kizuna Master a bit to finish the Kizunagers off for good. But then Souichi managed to teleport inside of the Ender Dragon's cockpit and cleanse all of the dark bond energy from it and replace it with pure bond energy. So now the Ender Dragon is cleansed from its dark bond energy as it became an additional Kizuna beast known as the DragCourage to assist the Kizunagers to take down the Region Bond Key, which led to Souichi to combine it with the Elemental Kizuna Master to form the Elemental Kizuna Master, Courage Custom Rise, to give the Kizunagers the upper advantage to save another world from the Region Bond Key's grasp. When the Kizunagers managed to weaken the Region Bond Key a bit as they found an opening, Togo and his friends performed the elemental Kizuna Courage Final Vent to finally defeat the Region Bond Key for good, as Logi retrieves back his hero's sword and Teltina retrieves the Dragon Keeper bonded key as it transforms into the Dragon Keeper Legend Bond Plate. A few moments later, Souichi hands the Kizunagers his Kizuna Beast Bond Plate to allow them to summon the DragCourage in case they needed some extra firepower after they helped him save his world's version of Togo from his dark bonds before he could do any more damage. So now Souichi bids farewell to the Kizunagers and returns back to his dimension to continue to duties as a protector of bonds, as Togo and his friends are glad to fight alongside an alternate version of himself and made the Kizuna Slayer into their newest ally to help them in their fight against the Bansouenders to put an end to the bonded king for good.